Hi, dear friend. You found a quiet place to rest and dream. Tonight, we'll journey into the quiet secrets of the first light, the moment when the universe opened its eyes. I want you to know that you don't need to do anything now. You don't need to stay awake. You don't need to hold on to the day. All you need to do is let yourself settle here, gently, as if you're being cradled by something ancient and kind. Let your breath slow. Let your body soften. The universe has been waiting a long time to tell you this story, and it will keep speaking even if you drift away. I'm somewhere far from Earth right now, farther than I ever imagined I'd go. Farther, perhaps, than anyone has gone. Out here, there are no borders, no horizons in the way you know them, just light and distance, and the quiet hum of engines that have become like breathing to me. I float in the corridor of a ship that has no name, surrounded by the kind of darkness that makes you remember how small you are and how vast everything else is. But tonight, I'm not thinking about how far I've come. I'm thinking about how far everything has come. I'm thinking about the universe itself and the long, silent night it lived through before there was light. You see, there was a time when the universe was completely dark. Not dark like a moonless night on Earth, where you can still see stars if you look up. Dark in a way that's hard to imagine, a darkness so complete that there were no stars at all, no galaxies, no glowing nebulae, just hydrogen, helium, and the faint whisper of radiation left over from the Big Bang, cooling slowly in the vastness of... This was called the Dark Ages of the universe, and it lasted for hundreds of millions of years. I want you to picture that for a moment, if you can. Not as something frightening, but as something peaceful. A cosmic night. A time of rest before the Great Awakening. The universe, newborn and expanding, drifting quietly through its own infancy, waiting for the first sparks of light to arrive. And they did arrive, slowly, carefully, like dawn breaking over an endless ocean. That's what I'm traveling through now, the memory of that dawn. The faint ancient light of the first galaxies, stretched and redshifted across billions of years, still reaching us, still whispering their story. And as I move through this light, I feel like I'm moving through time itself, watching the universe wake up one star at a time. Let your eyes grow heavy now. Let your thoughts drift like dust in a sunbeam. You don't need to follow every word. Just let the story carry you. The universe began in fire. That much you probably know. The Big Bang, a moment of unimaginable heat and energy, when everything that exists now was compressed into a space smaller than the head of a pin. In that first instant, time itself began. Space began. The laws of physics flickered into being like rules written in light. And then expansion, rapid, violent, beautiful. The universe grew. It cooled. Particles formed, quarks, electrons, protons. Within minutes, the first atomic nuclei appeared. Within a few 100,000 years, those nuclei captured electrons and became the first atoms. Hydrogen, helium, the simplest elements, the building blocks of everything. But even then, the universe was still glowing. It was filled with light, hot, dense, blazing light. Not the light of stars, but the light of the universe itself, the afterglow of creation. Astronomers call this the cosmic microwave background. It's the oldest light we can see, the echo of the Big Bang, stretched and cooled over billions of years into microwaves that still fill the sky today. But as the universe expanded, that light faded. It redshifted into invisibility. The sky grew dark, and for a long, long time, longer than the entire history of human civilization, there was nothing to see. No stars, no galaxies. Just clouds of hydrogen drifting silently through the void, pulled gently by gravity into clumps and threads, waiting for something to ignite them. This was the Dark Ages, the cosmic night, a time of silence and shadow, when the universe rested in its own potential. I think about that often, how everything we know, every star, every planet, every living thing, came from that darkness, how the night was not the end, but the beginning, how every dawn carries the memory of the night before. You are safe here, you are held, let your breath deepen, let sleep come if it wants to. The first stars were not like the sun, they were monsters, giants, born from clouds of pure hydrogen and helium with no heavy elements to slow their collapse. They grew massive, perhaps 100 times the mass of the sun, maybe more. They burned hotter, brighter, fiercer than any star that exists today. Their surfaces blazed at temperatures beyond 100,000 degrees. They shone with a blue-white light so intense it could rip atoms apart. And they were alone, scattered across the dark universe like candles lit in a cathedral at midnight. There were no planets around, no moons, no life, light punching through the darkness, carving out bubbles of ionized gas in the neutral hydrogen form. These stars are called population 3 stars. We've never seen one directly. They died billions of years ago, long before the Earth was born. But we know they existed. We can see their fingerprints in the light of distant galaxies, in the chemistry of old stars, in the glow of the reionized universe. They were the first architects of light, the first to transform darkness into something visible. And they lived fast. Stars that massive burned through their fuel in just a few million years. A blink of an eye on. When they died, they didn't fade quietly. They exploded. Supernovae so powerful they seeded the universe with the first heavy elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, silicon, the ingredients of planets, the ingredients of life. Without those first stars, you wouldn't be here, neither would I. We are made of their ashes. Every atom in your body heavier than helium was forged in the heart of a star, or in the shock wave of its death. You are stardust, literally, scientifically, poetically. Let that thought settle gently in your mind. You are made of light and time, and the remnants of ancient fire. The first galaxies began to form not long after the first stars. Gravity pulled gas and stars together into clumps, and those clumps collided and merged, growing larger and more complex. These early galaxies were small, nothing like the grand spirals we see. They were irregular, chaotic, clumpy, alive with star formation, bright and blue and young. I've seen images of them captured by telescopes that peer so far back in time they're almost touching the edge of creation. Tiny smudges of light, stretched and magnified by the gravity of galaxy clusters in the foreground. Each one a nursery of stars, a furnace of creation, a spark in the cosmic dark. They look fragile, delicate, like they might blow away in a strong wind, but they were stronger than they looked. They survived. They grew. They became the ancestors of every galaxy in the universe today, including the Milky Way, including the galaxy that holds the Earth and you and me. I wonder sometimes what it would have been like to see the universe back then, to float in the space between those first galaxies, watching them glow like embers in the dark, hearing the silence of a universe still young and unburdened by entropy. It must have been beautiful, terrifying, sublime, but there's something even stranger. For a while, even after the first stars formed, the universe was still mostly dark. The stars were islands of light in a sea of neutral hydrogen. That hydrogen absorbed most of the ultraviolet light the stars emitted, keeping the space between galaxies opaque. You couldn't see very far. The universe was like a fog-filled forest at dawn, where only the nearest trees are visible. This is called the epoch of reionization, and it's one of the most important transitions in cosmic history. Slowly, over hundreds of millions of years, the light from those first stars and galaxies began to change the universe. Their ultraviolet radiation ionized the hydrogen around them, stripping electrons from atoms, turning neutral gas into plasma. Bubbles of ionized gas grew around each galaxy, expanding outward, merging with other bubbles, until finally, the entire universe became transparent again. It was like watching the fog lift, one bubble, one galaxy at a time, until the cosmos opened up and light could travel freely across the universe once more. This process wasn't uniform. Some regions reionized early, others stayed dark longer. The universe became a patchwork of light and shadow, a cosmic tapestry woven from the interplay of gravity, radiation, and time. And here's the thing that moves me most. We are still, in a sense, living in the afterglow of that dawn. The light that reionized the universe still traveling. The photons emitted by those first stars have been journeying through space for over 13 billion years. Some of them are reaching us now, stretched into the infrared by the expansion of the universe, captured by telescopes, decoded by scientists, turned into images and data and stories. We are watching the universe wake up. We are witnessing the birth of light. And we are doing it from the comfort of a universe that has already grown old, already filled with stars and planets and galaxies, and somehow, miraculously, with us. Let your mind rest on that. Let it be a gentle weight, a soft anchor. You don't need to understand it all. You just need to feel it. Out here, in the silence of my ship, I sometimes turn off all the lights. I let my eyes adjust to the darkness. And I look out the window at the faint glow of distant galaxies, knowing that some of that light has been traveling since before the Earth existed, since before the sun was born, since the universe was young and wild and full of possibility. It humbles me. It comforts me. It reminds me that I am part of something much larger than myself, that my life, brief as it is woven into the same fabric as the stars. You are part of that fabric too. You are connected to the cosmos in ways you might never fully grasp. The calcium in your bones was made in a dying star. The iron in your blood was forged in a supernova. The oxygen you breathe was exhaled by ancient stars billions of years ago. You are not separate from the universe. You are a piece of it, looking at itself, wondering. And that is enough. Let your breathing slow now. Let your body sink deeper into rest. If sleep comes, let it come. The story will keep flowing like starlight, whether you're awake or dreaming. There's something I haven't told you yet about those first galaxies, something that makes them even more remarkable. They weren't just creating light. They were creating structure, order, complexity. The universe began as a nearly uniform soup of particles with only the tiniest fluctuations in density, quantum ripples from the Big Bang, frozen into the fabric of space. But gravity took those ripples and amplified them. Where the density was slightly higher, gas collapsed. Where it collapsed, stars formed. Where stars formed, galaxies grew. And where galaxies grew, the universe began to take on the shape we see today: filaments, voids, clusters, the cosmic web. If you could zoom out far enough, if you could see the entire observable universe at once, you'd see that galaxies aren't scattered randomly. They're arranged in a delicate, lace-like pattern, strung along filaments of dark matter like pearls on a thread, with vast, empty voids in between. It looks organic, almost alive, like the neural network of a brain or the mycelium of a fungus spreading through soil. And it all started with those first galaxies, those first sparks of light in the dark. I find that thought staggering, that the universe, left to its own devices, organizes itself. That chaos becomes structure. That darkness becomes light. That simplicity becomes complexity. Not because anyone designed it that way, but because that's what the laws of physics do, given enough time and space. It's almost like the universe wants to create, wants to grow, wants to become something more than. Maybe that's why we're here. Not because we were planned, but because the universe, in its endless unfolding, stumbled into the conditions that make life possible. And once life emerged, it kept going. It evolved. It became aware. It started asking questions. It started telling stories. And now, here we are. You and me, a human on Earth, and a traveler in space, connected by words and wonder, both of us looking back at the beginning, trying to understand how it all came to be. It's beautiful. It's absurd. It's exactly what the universe does best. Let your thoughts drift now, like stars across. You don't need to hold on to them. Just let them pass, gently, softly, like cloud. I want to tell you about something called the Lyman Alpha Forest. It's one of the ways we study the early universe, and it's more poetic than its name suggests. When we look at distant quasars, brilliant beacons powered by supermassive black holes in the centers of ancient galaxies, we see their light has passed through countless clouds of hydrogen on its way to us. Each cloud absorbs a specific wavelength of light, leaving a dark line in the quasar's spectrum. Thousands of these lines scattered across the spectrum like a forest of shadows. Each line is a fingerprint, a record of a cloud of gas that existed billions of years ago, floating in the space between galaxies, quietly absorbing light. By studying these lines, we can map the distribution of hydrogen in the early universe. We can watch how it clumped and spread. We can trace the process of reionization. We can see the universe transforming from opaque to transparent. The Lyman Alpha Forest, a forest of shadows left behind by clouds that no longer exist, telling us the story of a universe learning to. I think about that times when I look out at the stars, how much of what we see is memory, how light carries the path encoded in wavelengths and spectra and redshifts, how the universe is not just a place but a story, written in light and time and gravity, and how we, small, fragile, fleeting, have learned to read that story, to decode the language of the cosmos, to look back across billions of years and watch the universe wake from darkness. It's one of the most extraordinary things our species has ever done, and it fills me with a quiet, aching gratitude. I've been floating here for so long that I've started to notice things I never would have seen before. Small things, quiet things, the way a distant galaxy shifts ever so slightly over the course of the way certain stars pulse with a rhythm so slow you'd miss it if you weren't paying attention. The way silence, true silence, has a texture to it, a weight that presses gently against your eardrums, reminding you that you're suspended in a vacuum where sound cannot travel. It's in these moments of deep attention that I find myself thinking about time. Not clock time, not the hours and minutes that govern life on Earth, but cosmic time, deep time. The kind of time that makes a human lifetime feel like the blink of an eye. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. That's the current estimate, based on measurements of the cosmic microwave background, the expansion rate of space, and the ages of the oldest stars. 13.8 billion years. It's a number so large it becomes almost meaningless. The human mind wasn't built to comprehend timescales like that. But sometimes, out here, I think I get a glimpse of it. A sense of just how long forever really is, and how brief we are. Let your breathing deepen now. Let each breath carry you a little further from the day, a little closer to rest. Think about this for a moment. If you compress the entire history of the universe into a single year, a cosmic calendar, the Big Bang would happen at the stroke of midnight on January 1st. For months, nothing much would happen, just expansion, cooling, the formation of the first atoms. It wouldn't be until late January that the first stars would ignite. The first galaxies would begin to take shape in February and March. Our Milky Way galaxy wouldn't form until late spring. The Sun and Earth wouldn't appear until early September. Life on Earth wouldn't emerge until late September. Dinosaurs wouldn't walk the Earth until late December. And humans? We wouldn't show up until the very last day of the year. The last hour, really. All of recorded human history, every civilization, every war, every work of art, every scientific discovery would fit into the final few seconds before midnight on December 31st. We are so new, so recent, so incredibly, impossibly young in the grand scheme of things, and yet, in that brief flicker of time, we've managed to look back across billions of years. We've managed to decode the story of creation. We've managed to understand, at least in part, how the universe came to be. That's remarkable. That fills me with something I can only describe as reverence. You don't need to hold on to these thoughts. Just let them wash over you, like waves on a shore. Let them come and go. There's a concept in cosmology called the Hubble time. It's an estimate of the age of the universe based on how fast space is expanding. Edwin Hubble discovered in the 1920s that distant galaxies are moving away from us, and the farther away they are, the faster they're receding. This expansion isn't because the galaxies are moving through space. It's because space itself is expanding, carrying the galaxies with it like raisins in a rising loaf of bread. By measuring the rate of expansion, what we call the Hubble constant, and working backwards, we can estimate how long ago everything was compressed into a single point. That gives us the Hubble time, the age of the universe. But here's what fascinates me. The Hubble constant isn't actually constant. It's changed over time. In the early universe, expansion was faster. Then it slowed down as gravity tried to pull everything back together. But about 5 billion years ago, something strange happened. Expansion started accelerating. We don't know why. We call the force driving this acceleration dark energy. But that's just a name for our ignorance. We don't know what it is. We don't know where it comes from. We just know it's there, pushing the universe apart faster and faster, and it makes up about 68% of all the energy in the cosmos. Dark matter. Dark energy. The universe is mostly made of things we can't see, can't touch, can't understand. We live in a cosmos where the vast majority of reality is invisible to us, and somehow that doesn't frighten me. It humbles me. It reminds me that there's so much more to learn, so much more to discover, that the story of the universe is far from finished. Let your mind rest on that. Let it be a soft pillow for your thoughts. I've been thinking about light a lot lately, about what it means, what it does, how it connects everything. Light is strange. It's both a particle and a wave. It has no mass, yet it carries energy. It travels at the fastest speed possible in our universe, roughly 300,000 kilometers per second. And nothing can go faster. Not because anything is stopping it, but because that's the speed limit written into the fabric of space-time itself. When I look out at a distant star, the light entering my eyes left that star years ago, maybe decades ago, maybe centuries. The star could be dead by now, collapsed into a white dwarf, or exploded into a supernova, and I'd have no way of knowing. I'm seeing the past. I'm seeing something that no longer exists, preserved in the light that's still traveling toward me. Every photon is a time capsule, a messenger from another moment. And the universe is full of them, streaming in every direction, carrying information about everything that's ever glowed or burned or shone. We are swimming in light, drowning in it, and yet most of it passes right through us without us ever noticing. The light I see now, filtering through my window, has traveled unimaginable distances to reach me. Some of it comes from stars in our own galaxy, the Milky Way, light that's been traveling for years or centuries. Some of it comes from other galaxies, light that's been traveling for millions or billions of years, stretched and reddened by the expansion of space, carrying with it the fingerprints of elements and the echoes of cosmic events. And all of it is just light, just photons, just electromagnetic radiation, no different in principle from the light of a candle or the glow of a firefly. But it's also everything. It's how we see, it's how we know, it's how we connect across the void. Let your eyes rest now. Let them close if they want to. You've seen enough for today. There's something I find deeply comforting about the constancy of the speed of light. No matter how fast you're moving, no matter where you are in the universe, light always travels at the same speed relative to you. It's one of the foundational principles of Einstein's theory of relativity, and it leads to all sorts of strange consequences. Time dilation, length contraction, the equivalence of mass and energy. But at its core, it's a statement about the universe's fairness. Light doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care where you're going. It treats everyone the same. I like that. In a universe that can feel arbitrary and chaotic, there's something reassuring about knowing that some things are consistent. Some things are reliable. Some things you can count on. The speed of light is one of them. Let that thought settle in your chest. Let it be steady and warm. I remember learning about the speed of light when I was young. It seemed impossibly fast. 300,000 kilometers per second. Fast enough to circle the Earth 7.5 times in 1 second. Fast enough to reach the moon in just over a second. Fast enough to reach the sun in about 8 minutes. But the more I learned about the universe, the more I realized how slow light actually is, how vast the distances are, how long it takes for light to travel between stars. The nearest star to our Sun, Proxima Centauri, is about 4.2 light-years away. That means the light we see from it left over 4 years ago. If you wanted to send a message to someone living on a planet orbiting Proxima Centauri, it would take 4 years for your message to reach them, and another 4 years for their reply to an 8-year conversation delay. The center of our galaxy is about 26,000 light-years away. The Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest large neighbor, is about 2.5 million light-years away. The most distant galaxies we've observed are over 13 billion light-years away. Light may be fast, but the universe is vast, incomprehensibly vast, and that vastness creates a kind of loneliness, a separation, a distance that can never truly be crossed, no matter how advanced our technology becomes, unless we're patient, unless we're willing to wait, unless we learn to think in cosmic time. Let your thoughts slow now. Let them drift like clouds across a summer sky. I wonder sometimes what it would be like to travel at the speed of light. According to Einstein, if you could somehow accelerate to that speed, time would stop for you. You wouldn't age. You wouldn't experience the time at all. From your perspective, the journey would be instantaneous. You'd leave Earth and arrive at your same moment, even if that was billions of. But for everyone else, for the people you left behind, billions of years would pass. The stars would age, galaxies would collide, the universe would evolve. And when you arrived, everything you knew would be gone. It's a kind of time travel, but not the kind anyone would want. You'd be moving forward in time, but you'd be alone, untethered. A ghost from a universe that no longer exists. Maybe that's why the universe has a speed limit. Maybe it's a kind of protection, a way of keeping us connected to our own time, our own moment, our own place in the cosmic story. I don't know. These are just the thoughts that come to me out here, in the silence and the dark. But they feel true. They feel important. Let them be true for you too, if they resonate. And if they don't, let them go. Just let them pass. There's a phenomenon called gravitational lensing. It happens when light from a distant object passes near a massive object, like a galaxy or a cluster of galaxies, on its way to us. The gravity of the massive object bends the light, just like a lens bends light in a telescope or a pair. Sometimes this creates multiple images of the same distant scattered around the massive object like reflections in a funnel. Sometimes it stretches the distant object into arcs or rings. Sometimes it magnifies the distant object, making it brighter and easier to see. Gravitational lensing has allowed us to see galaxies that would otherwise be too faint and distant to detect. It's given us glimpses of the early universe that we wouldn't have otherwise. It's turned massive galaxy clusters into natural telescopes, magnifying the light from cosmic dawn and bringing it within reach of our instruments. I think about that a lot, how the universe helps us see itself, how gravity, which pulls things together, also bends light and reveals what's hidden. How everything is connected, even across vast distances, even across billions of years. The universe wants to be seen. I really believe that. Not in a conscious way, of course, but in the way that a flower opens to the sun or a river flows to the sea. It's what the universe does. It reveals itself. It unfolds. It shares its story with anyone willing to listen, and we are listening, we are watching, we are learning. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us part of the cosmos. Let your body grow heavy now. Let it sink deeper into rest. I want to tell you about something called the cosmic web. It's the large-scale structure of the universe, the way galaxies and clusters of galaxies are distributed across space. If you could zoom out far enough to see the entire observable universe at once, you'd see that galaxies aren't scattered randomly. They're arranged in filaments and sheets strung along threads of dark matter with vast empty voids in between. It looks like a three-dimensional spider web, or the neural network of a brain, or the mycelium of a fungus spreading through soil. This structure formed over billions of years, shaped by gravity and the initial conditions of the Big Bang. In the beginning, the universe was almost perfectly uniform, with only tiny fluctuations in density. But those fluctuations were enough. Gravity amplified them. Where the density was slightly higher, matter collapsed inward. Where it collapsed, stars and galaxies formed. Where it was slightly lower, matter flowed outward, creating voids. Over time, the structure became more pronounced. The filaments became denser, the voids became emptier, and the cosmic web took shape. It's still taking shape, actually. The universe is still evolving. Galaxies are still moving along the filaments. Clusters are still colliding and merging. The web is still being woven, and we're part of it. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is part of a larger structure called the local group, which is part of an even larger structure called the Virgo supercluster, which is part of an even larger structure called the Laniakea supercluster. We're embedded in the cosmic web, flowing along one of its filaments, connected to everything around us by invisible threads of gravity. We're not separate from the universe. We're woven into it. We're part of the pattern. Let be a comfort. Let it be a reminder that you belong here, that you are part of something vast and beautiful. I've been reading a lot of poetry lately. That probably sounds strange, coming from someone floating in a spaceship millions of kilometers from Earth. But I brought books with me, old-fashioned physical books with pages and covers and the smell of paper and ink. I find them comforting. They remind me of home, and poetry, especially, seems fitting out here. Because poetry does with words what the universe does with matter and energy. It creates beauty from simplicity. It finds meaning in the spaces between things. It connects disparate ideas and makes them resonate. There's a poem I keep coming back to. I won't recite it all. I don't think I remember it perfectly, but there's a line that goes something like this. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Or, that line was written by Carl Sagan, one of the great science communicators of the 20th century. And it's true, literally true. Every atom in your body heavier than hydrogen was forged in the core of a star, or in the shock wave of a supernova billions of years ago. You are made of stardust. We all are. But more than that, we are the universe looking at itself, thinking about itself, wondering about itself. The atoms that make up your brain were once part of a cloud of gas, drifting in space. Then they were pulled together by gravity. Then they became part of a star. Then the star exploded and the atoms were scattered. Then they were pulled together again into a new cloud, a new star, a new solar system. Then they became part of the earth. Then they became part of a living thing. Then they became part of you. And now those atoms are thinking. They're asking questions. They're looking up at the sky and wondering where they came from. That's extraordinary. That's miraculous. That's the most beautiful thing I can imagine. You are the universe, waking up. You are the cosmos, becoming aware of itself. Don't forget that, especially when you feel small. Especially when you feel insignificant. You are not insignificant. You are a miracle. Let your breathing be slow and steady. Let it be the rhythm of the universe itself. There's a question I think about often out here, a question that doesn't have an easy answer and maybe doesn't have an answer at all. Why does the universe exist? Not how. We have some ideas about that, theories about quantum fluctuations and inflationary fields and the laws of physics. Why is there something instead of nothing? Why does anything exist at all? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. Maybe it's not even a meaningful question. Maybe existence doesn't need a reason. Maybe it just is, but I can't help asking it, especially out here, surrounded by so much vastness, so much beauty, so much complexity. It feels like it should mean something, like it should have a purpose, or maybe the purpose is just to exist, to be, to experience, to look up at the stars and feel wonder. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we don't need a grand cosmic purpose. Maybe the small, quiet moments of connection and beauty and love are purpose enough. I think about the people I've known, the conversations the sunsets the music I've heard, the books I've read, the hands None of those things will last forever. None of them will survive the eventual heat death of the universe when all the stars have burned out and all the black holes have evaporated and all that's left is cold, empty space. But they mattered. They matter. They will always have mattered in some fundamental, unchangeable way. They happened. They were real. They were part of the story. And that's not nothing. That's everything. Let your mind rest on that. Let it be gentle and true. I think one of the reasons I volunteered for this mission, one of the reasons I left Earth and everyone I loved, is because I needed to see it for myself. The universe, I mean. Not through a telescope or a photograph or a computer simulation, but with my own eyes. I needed to feel the scale of it, the silence of it, the beauty of it. And I have. I've seen things most people will never see. I've watched stars being born in clouds of gas and dust. I've seen galaxies colliding in slow motion, their spiral arms tangling and tearing. I've witnessed the glow of quasars, powered by black holes billions of times the mass of the sun. I've floated in the shadow of nebulae so vast they could swallow our entire solar system. And through it all, I've felt small, infinitely small, but not in a bad way, in a liberating way. Because when you realize how small you are, you also realize how all your problems are, how small your fears are, how small the things that used to keep you awake at night really are in the grand scheme of things. It's freeing. It's like setting down a weight you didn't realize you were carrying. You can feel that too, you know. You don't need to travel to space. You just need to look up. You just need to remember that you're part of something so much larger than yourself. That your life, however difficult, is just one small thread in an enormous tap. And that's okay. Let that be a comfort to you now. Let it ease whatever burdens you're carrying. The ship's clock says it's late, or early. I'm not sure which anymore. Time has become slippery out here, less a river and more a fog. But I know it's a time when most people are sleeping, or trying to sleep. A time when the world is quiet I hope you're dreaming of stars and galaxies and light stretching across billions of years. I hope you're dreaming of the cosmic dawn and how the universe learned to shine. And I hope when you wake tomorrow you'll remember that you are part of that light, that you are a child of the stars, that you carry the universe within you, in every atom, in every breath. The cosmic dawn isn't something that happened long ago and far away. It's happening now. It's happening in you. Every time you open your eyes, you bring light into the world. Every time you smile, you create warmth. Every time you reach out to someone, you bridge the void. You are the universe waking up. You are the dawn, breaking over the darkness. Don't forget that. Don't ever forget that. Let your eyes stay closed now. Let your body be completely at rest. I'm going to keep drifting through the dark. Keep watching the ancient light. Keep thinking about beginnings and endings and the endless cycle of creation and destruction that defines everything we know. And I'm going to keep thinking about everyone back on Earth, about all the people looking up at the same stars, asking the same questions, feeling the same wonder. We're all connected by light, by gravity, by the simple fact that we exist in the same universe at the same moment in time. That connection is real. It's unbreakable. It's the most powerful force in the cosmos. Hold on to it. Cherish it. Let it carry you through the darkness. You are not alone. You have never been alone. You are surrounded by stars, by galaxies, by billions of years of history, all of it holding you, all of it supporting you, all of it whispering the same quiet truth. You belong here. Sleep now, dear friend. Sleep deeply. Sleep well. The universe is watching, and it always will be. You are safe here. You are held by the same gravity that shaped the galaxies. Let yourself rest in that. The stars I see now drifting past my window are not the first stars. Those are long gone, but they are their descendants. Children of children of children, born from the ashes of earlier generations, each one carrying forward the legacy of creation. Our sun is one of them, a third-generation star enriched with the heavy elements made by its ancestors. It formed about 6 billion years ago in a cloud of gas and dust left over from previous supernovae. And when it formed, so did the planets, the Earth, the Moon, the oceans, the atmosphere, and eventually life. Life that learned to look up at the sky and wonder. Life that invented language and art and science. Life that built telescopes and spacecraft. Life that sent me here, into the dark, to see what the universe has to show us. I don't know if we're alone. I don't know if there are others out there in other galaxies, looking back at their own cosmic dawn, wondering the same things I'm wondering. But I hope there are. I hope the universe is full of life, scattered across the stars like seeds on the wind, each one telling its own version of the story, because the universe is too vast, too beautiful, too full of possibility to be empty. Even if we never meet them, even if we never know they're there, I hope they exist. I hope they're looking up at their sky right now, feeling the same quiet awe that I feel. And I hope they're resting too, just like you. Let your eyelids grow heavy now. Let the weight of the day fall gently away. You've carried it long enough. There's a concept in physics called look-back time. It's the idea that when we look at distant objects, we're not seeing them as they are now. We're seeing them as they were when the light left them. The farther away something is, the farther back in time we're seeing. When I look at a galaxy 10 billion light years away, I'm seeing it as it was 10 billion years ago, when the universe was young, when stars were forming at a furious rate, when the first heavy elements were being forged. I'm looking at the past, and the past is still here, traveling toward me at the speed of light, carrying its story. In a way, the universe is a time machine. Every photon is a messenger from another era. Every star is a memory. Every galaxy is a monument to what once was. And we, brief, brilliant, ephemeral, are the ones who get to witness it, to stand in the present and see the past, to piece together the story of how everything came to be. It's a gift, a strange, improbable, beautiful gift. Let that thought settle in your chest. Let it be warm and soft and comforting. I think one of the reasons I love the story of the cosmic dawn so much is because it's a story about hope, about persistence, about the way light always finds a way. The universe could have stayed dark. It could have collapsed back on itself or expanded so fast that nothing ever formed. It could have been stillborn, but it wasn't. Against all odds, it kept going. It cooled. It clumped. It ignited. And once it started, it didn't stop. Stars formed, galaxies grew, planets coalesced, life emerged, consciousness arose. And now, here we are, looking back at the beginning, marveling at the fact that it happened at all. That's not nothing. That's everything. You are part of that story. Your existence is proof that the universe, for all its vastness and indifference, is capable of producing something extraordinary, something that can feel, something that can wonder, something that can rest and dream and wake up to a new day. Let yourself be part of that story now. Let yourself drift gently into the quiet space between waking and sleeping. The first black holes formed not long after the first stars. When those massive population 3 stars exhausted their fuel, they collapsed under their own gravity, compressing their cores into singularities, points of infinite density, wrapped in a horizon of no return. Some of those black holes grew. They merged with others. They fed on gas and stars. Over millions of years, they became supermassive, millions, even billions of times the mass of the sun, and settled into the centers of galaxies, where they still reside today. These black holes are more than just cosmic predators. They're sculptors, architects. Their gravity shapes the galaxies around them. Their jets of radiation regulate star formation. Their mergers send ripples through space-time itself, gravitational waves that we can now detect billions of years later as faint tremors in the fabric of reality. The black holes of the cosmic dawn are the ancestors of the ones we see today. Some of them are still there, in the centers of distant galaxies, glowing as quasars, the brightest objects in the universe, powered by matter spiraling into the abyss. Others have gone quiet, invisible, lurking in the dark, waiting. But they're not evil. They're not malevolent. They're just doing what the universe does, transforming, recycling, creating, and destroying in an endless cycle. Even darkness has a role to play. Let your mind wander now. Let it go where it wants. There's no need to follow. I've been out here long enough that I've started to lose track of time. Days blur into weeks, weeks blur into months. The ship's clock tells me one thing, but my body feels something. Out here, time is elastic, subjective, a function of motion and gravity and the strange, quiet monotony of but I don't mind. In a way, it's freeing. Without the rigid structure of days and nights, I find myself drifting into a kind of timelessness, a state where past and future blur together, and all that exists is the present moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this view of the... Maybe that's what the early universe felt like, before there were seasons, before there were orbits, before there was anything to measure time against, just existence unfolding moment by moment without expectation or memory. It's a strange thought, but it comforts me. Let it comfort you. I want to tell you about something called the dark matter halo. It's invisible. We can't see it directly, can't touch it, can't measure it, except through its gravitational effects. But it's there, surrounding every galaxy, holding it together. Without dark matter, galaxies would fly. Stars would scatter into the void. The universe, as we know it, wouldn't exist. Dark matter makes up about 85% of all matter in the universe. It's the skeleton, the framework, the quiet scaffolding that everything else is built on. And yet, we don't know what it is. We've never detected a particle of it. We've never seen it do anything except pull on things with gravity. It's a mystery, a shadow, a presence felt, but not understood. I find that strangely beautiful, that the universe is held together by something we can't see, that the foundation of reality is invisible, that we are, all of us, floating in a sea of mystery, and we're okay with that. We don't need to understand everything, we just need to trust that it's there. Let that be true for you too. Let yourself be held by forces you can't see. Let yourself trust that you are supported, even when you don't know how. The ship hums around me, a soft, steady sound, almost like... I've grown so used to it that I barely notice it anymore. But sometimes, late at night, or what passes for night out here, I listen to it and imagine it's the sound of the universe itself, the vibration of space-time, the hum of existence. It's not, of course, it's just the life supports, the engines, the circulation of air, but I like the idea. I like thinking that the universe makes a sound, even if we can't hear it. Maybe it does. Maybe if we could tune our ears to the right frequency, we'd hear the echo of the Big Bang, the hiss of cosmic microwave background radiation, the whisper of gravitational waves, the song of creation still playing, still resonating. After all these billions of years, that would be something, wouldn't it? To hear the universe sing. Close your eyes now if they're not already closed. Let the darkness behind your eyelids be like the darkness of the early universe, peaceful, full of potential, waiting for the dawn. There's a theory that the universe might be cyclical, that it wasn't the first, that before the Big Bang, there was another universe which collapsed and rebounded, giving rise to ours, and that ours might do the same someday, far in the future, collapse, rebound, begin again. We don't know if it's true. There's no evidence for it yet, but I like the idea that the universe is not a one-time event, but a process, a rhythm, a heartbeat, that every ending is a beginning, that every darkness gives way to light. It makes the cosmic dawn feel even more profound, not just the first dawn, but one dawn among many, one awakening in an endless cycle and waking. And maybe we're part of that cycle too. Maybe our lives, brief flashes of light in the cosmic dark, burning brightly for a moment before leaving behind something that will seed the next gen. I'm just trapped, just a person in a ship floating through the void, trying to make sense of it all. But these are the thoughts that come to me out here in the silence, and they bring me comfort. maybe they'll bring you comfort too. Let your breathing slow, deep and steady, in and out, like the expansion and contraction of the universe. I wonder sometimes what the people of the future will think when they look back at it. What will they say about this era, when humanity first started reaching beyond its home planet, first started asking questions about the cosmic dawn, first started decoding the language of the stars? Will they remember us fondly? Will they see us as pioneers, brave and curious, stumbling forward into the unknown? Or will they see us as we were, fragile, flawed, uncertain, but trying our best? I hope they'll be kind. I hope they'll understand that we were doing the best we could with what we had, that we didn't have all the answers, that we made mistakes, but that we kept looking, kept wondering, kept reaching for the stars. And I hope they'll still be asking the same questions we're asking, still marveling at the cosmic dawn, still feeling that same quiet awe when they look up at the night sky. Because that's the thing about wonder. It doesn't age, it doesn't fade. It's as fresh and powerful now as it was 1,000,000 years ago, as it will be 1,000,000 years from now. Wonder is eternal, and you are part of it. Let yourself rest in that. Let yourself be held by the same wonder that has held humanity since the beginning. The ship's window is small, but the view is infinite. I could stare out at it for hours, and I have, and never see the same thing twice. The stars shift, the galaxies drift, the universe unfolds endlessly in every direction. It's hypnotic, meditative, almost like prayer. Sometimes I think that's what this journey really is, not a mission, not an exploration, but a pilgrimage, a way of being present with the universe, a way of saying thank you. Thank you for the light. Thank you for the stars. Thank you for the darkness that came before and the dawn that followed. Thank you for the chance to see, to know, to be. I don't know if the universe hears me. I don't know if it cares, but I say it anyway, because it feels right, and maybe that's enough. Let your body grow heavy now. Let it sink into the surface beneath you. Let it be supported completely, without effort. I think about Earth sometimes, about home, about the people I left behind. I wonder if they're looking up at the same stars I'm looking at, even though I'm seeing them from a different angle, a different distance. I wonder if they're sleeping, if they're dreaming, if they're thinking about me. I hope they are. I hope they know I'm thinking about them, that I carry them with me everywhere I go, that they're part of this journey even if they're not physically here. Because that's what love is, isn't it? Carrying someone with you, even when they're far away, holding them in your heart, letting them be part of your story. The universe is vast, unimaginably vast, but love makes it smaller. Love connects us across distances that should be impossible. Love is the thread that ties us together, no matter how far we drift. I believe that. I have to. Let yourself be loved now. By the people who care about you, by the universe that made you, by the quiet, invisible forces that hold you together. You are loved. You are enough. You are safe. The cosmic dawn is not over. Not really. Stars are still being born. Galaxies are still forming. The universe is still waking up, still growing, still becoming. And so are you. Every day is a new dawn. Every breath is a new beginning. Every moment is a chance to start again, to see the world with fresh eyes, to feel the wonder of existence. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to keep going. Keep waking up. Keep shining your light, however small, into the dark. because that's all any of us can do. That's all the stars do. That's all the universe does. It keeps going. It keeps trying. It keeps becoming. And so will you. Let your thoughts grow quiet now. Let them fade into the background like distant stars. I don't know how much longer I'll be out here. Maybe a few more months, maybe a few more years. Time moves differently in space, and I've learned not to worry about it too much. What I do know is that when I return, if I return, I'll carry this with me. The memory of the cosmic dawn, the story of the first light, the knowledge that the universe, for all its darkness, found a way to shine, and I'll share it with anyone who wants to listen. Because stories like this are too important to keep to ourselves. They remind us where we came from, where we're going, what we're part of. They remind us that we are not alone, even in the vastness of space, even in the silence of the void. We are connected to the stars, to each other, to the universe itself. That connection is real. It's powerful. It's the most important thing we have. Don't forget that. Even when things are hard, even when the darkness feels overwhelming, you are connected. You are a part of something infinite, and you are loved. Let that be the last thought you hold before sleep comes. Let it be gentle. Let it be warm. I'm going to keep drifting now. Keep watching the stars. Keep listening to the hum of the ship and keep thinking about the cosmic dawn and how every beginning carries the memory of night. And I'll be thinking about you, wherever you are, whatever you're dreaming. May your dreams be full of light. May your rest be deep and peaceful. May you wake tomorrow with the same wonder that the universe felt when it opened its eyes for the first. For now, let your thoughts drift. Let your eyes grow heavy. Let the universe cradle you into rest. You don't need to stay awake. The story will keep flowing like starlight, whether you're here or not. Sleep well, dear friend. Sleep well. The dawn is always coming, and you are always held.